Oh, thank you. I'm good. All right, moving on, moving on. Black pill time. Okay. The first black pill, we're going to go over this AP news story. If you hadn't heard, the Oath Keepers founder, Stuart Rhodes, was sentenced to 18 years for seditious conspiracy in the January 6th. They say attack here, but, you know, I'll leave that one up to you. All right. Oath Keepers extremist group founder Stuart Rhodes was sentenced Thursday to 18 years in prison. That is a huge sentence. I don't know average sentences, but 18 years, it seems like you'd have to like attempted murder someone. So let's see what he did. 58, convicted of seditious conspiracy. Yeah, that's a long time. What it means in the Proud Boys January 6th case. Okay. The Justice Department will continue to do everything in our power to hold accountable those criminally responsible for January 6th attack on our democracy. Okay, they keep fucking saying that, right? They say this all the time, attack on our democracy. They're trying to make it out to be like 9/11. Right? But for anyone who was watching and anyone who was there, there was some roughness going on, but it wasn't anything wild, nothing that I've seen. And we've talked before about how weird it is that they said they have millions of hours of footage and they never released any of it. People are still being held for just walking into the Capitol, and there is video of people, of policemen just letting people in. Hold up, let me see. YouTube says stream ended. Oh, weird. We're back. Okay, cool. So, anyways, all this is to say, they are clearly out to get anyone who was at January 6th because they want to discourage as much as possible any sort of threat to the legitimacy of the government, right? I think it's undeniable that the legitimacy of the government is at its lowest in a century, right? At least. Nobody trusts the news. Nobody trusts the government. The powers that be are on their last straw. And that is a huge problem for them because, you know, obviously, if that crumbles, they lose power. They don't make money. They're not the top dogs anymore, right? So, they need to. We're at the point in history where they will start cracking down on anyone who does anything adjacent to, well, not even adjacent to like crimes, because Ricky Vaughn, he just posted a meme in 2016. They sent him to jail. I haven't talked about that on this show, but if you guys know, Ricky Vaughn was a memer back in 2016. You know, the short of it, he was a memer back in the meme war in 2016. He posted a tweet saying black people called this number to vote, or like text this number to vote. Just completely ridiculous and completely joking. And they got him just this year on depriving people of their voting rights from posting a Twitter meme. So this is the level of things that they're going to prosecute you for at this point. If they think that you have any threat to their legitimacy as a system, you're going to jail. They're going to get creative. They don't even have to get creative, honestly. They just do what they want, right? Because at the end of the day, their power is entirely based on the power that the people give them in a a somewhat republic democracy that we have going on. They have a lot of autonomy up there, but if the entire country turns against them, they can't hold on to that. So clearly they're realizing what's going on. They realized that ever since Trump got in office, they said in 2016 they could never let it happen again, which is a wild thing to say if it was an actual democracy. Never let the will of the people happen again. Like, that's crazy. So anyways, long roundabout. Lots of linked things in here, but the main point is that the government is starting to throw people in literal gulags for nothing at their discretion. So 18 years, I can't imagine something that Stuart Rhodes did to justify 18 years. We can read a couple more quotes from the rest of this article, and then my friend wrote up some of the finer points that he found on researching, so we can kind of dive into what happened and is it justified or not. Rhodes' January 2022 arrest was the culmination of a decades-long path of extremism that included armed standoffs with federal authorities at Nevada's Bundy Ranch after founding the Oath Keepers in 2009. By the way, they are called the Oath Keepers because they're all ex-military, ex-police, which, right off the bat, I don't trust. If nothing else, it's unoptical and it's rife for infiltration. What's a better place to infiltrate than, former agents? That's just a no-brainer to get into. So you have to assume that they're compromised in some way. The Yale Law School graduate built it into one of the largest far-right anti-government militia groups in the U.S., though it appears to have weakened in the wake of the Oath Keepers' arrests. The prosecutors had sought 25 years for Rhodes, arguing that a lengthy sentence was necessary to deter future political violence. So they are full-on marking him as a threat to our country. And I don't know about you guys, but this guy doesn't look like a threat to our country. It looks like he's a threat to a old country buffet in my book. Looks like he's a threat to. Are you gonna eat those? This is just I hate when hyperlinks go to the same article. Oh, this is different. It's just the same photo. So basically, they say he's like an ongoing terrorist, huge threat, so they have to lock him up for 25 years. Okay, so this is the AP. We can get into the finer points of it. I wrote them down in this doc. Since it's just a text doc, I'll just pop it on my beautiful face. Stuart Rhodes convicted. So he graduated from Yale. Constitutionalist. He worked for Ron Paul in the 90s. Founded the Oath Keepers, a pro-constitution organization, primarily on the First and Second Amendments. They lobby politicians to protect the Constitution, do disaster relief, and believe in a vigorous application of the Second Amendment. Should all other legislative and judicial... Fuck, I feel like I have a lisp. The Second Amendment, should all other legislative and judicial remedies fail. Okay, so basically what that means is if things aren't going well and you can't get a fair shake based on law or in the courts, then they want to take over the government. Name of org comes from this Rhodes quote. It's a full-blown, a quote, parentheses, a full-blown totalitarian police state cannot happen here if the majority of officers and soldiers obey their oath to defend the Constitution and refuse to enforce the unconstitutional edicts of the leader. So, what is their oath? What is the oath they're referring to? Because I don't know precisely what a officer's oath to the country is. It's like to protect from domestic and foreign and domestic, right? Is that what's going on? I do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign or domestic, that will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion. There's more. I don't know how far this goes. There's obviously different versions of it, but that's kind of the gist of most of them, it looks like. So basically, foreign and domestic, so if there's a corrupt government, that, they're saying that you should take over the government, right? Reset that bitch. On January 6th, he walked into restricted Capitol grounds, quote, but did not enter the Capitol building and did not instruct any Oath Keepers to enter the building. Rhodes and other Oath Keepers had handguns, which Rhodes stated they carried in anticipation that President Trump would use his lawful powers under the Insurrection Act to form a militia and wanted to protect Trump supporters. Okay. This is where things get a little wonky, a little sketchy. So he's had his trial, obviously, so he didn't tell anyone to go in the building. He didn't go in the building, right? So basically what he's getting charged for is being he's being in the vicinity of a riot in case of an insurrection, right? And I mean, like, they call it an insurrection, but it really wasn't. It was really a bunch of people just walking around the Capitol. There was no actual plot to take over anything. It wasn't organized. It was just people doing a riot. They had handguns. So I've heard, and we'll get into this after, but I've heard that they also had like a hotel full of rifles. I don't want to speak out of school there, but we should look that up. 4 days later, he was recorded saying, "We should have brought rifles. We could have fixed it right then and there. I'd hang Pelosi from the lamppost." Okay, well, that answers it. So they did not bring rifles. Potentially they were in the hotel room, but it sounds like they weren't. We could have fixed it right then and there. I'd hang Pelosi from the lamppost. Okay, so first of all, don't Fed post, man. These boomers don't understand. And my wife and I were talking about this earlier. Boomers don't understand how severe things are. They don't get that there's actual consequences because their entire life they've been spoiled. They've had everything taken care of. Every time I talk to a boomer, they're saying, "Oh, it'll all just be okay. We just have to sit back and everything will work itself out." It's like, no, dude, that's not how it works. That's not how anything works. The only reason you think that's why things work or how things work is because you've been in that tiny period of history where there hasn't had to be anything extreme going on. And just only in the United States, right? Boomers you talk about white privilege, right? Boomer privilege is like the biggest privilege. They grew up in the soft, cushy United States. They don't have to do anything. And so, of course, they're going to say that everything works out. So this is just such a mentality, right? And this is why we are where we are. Nobody's defending anything. And obviously I'm talking about ideas and not like physicality here because, I mean, you see where just showing up around these things with guns gets you. If you're going to show up with guns at the Capitol, you'd better completely topple the government. Otherwise, what do you do? Like, otherwise you should just expect to go to jail for your entire life. You know what I mean? Like, anyone who could prosecute you needs to be run out of the country if you're going to be doing that. And again, I don't vouch for that, but that's the math there. And so to think that you could just LARP an insurrection, LARP a militia, and not have any consequences of it is kind of wild to me. But on the other hand, playing devil's advocate, things are fucked up and someone needs to do something about it. But what we don't need to do is have a bunch of people doing shitty, both unoptical and dangerous things. You know, people need to be smart about what's going on, and they need to. They just gotta think for a second, man. Because they say you have a Second Amendment, right? You have a First Amendment, but clearly you don't actually have those things, right? So if you're justifying all your actions by this is legal and this is not legal, it really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because they will get you for whatever they want to. And this is exactly the case, right? 18 years. Federal government charged him with seditious conspiracy, conspire to overthrow, put down, or destroy the government of the United States, or to levy war against them, or to oppose by force the authority thereof. Faced 20 years, plus 5. Okay, so the 25 came from plus 5 for terrorism enhancement. He got convicted for 18. So, there you have it. There you have it. I want to look up real quick. What they had in the hotel. Stuart Rhodes Hotel guns. Because it's crazy that he got in any trouble for not even being in the Capitol. Okay, so massive gun pile, and this is from NBC. Oathkeeper testifies about massive gun pile. Okay, an oathkeeper. Terry Cummings, a Florida oathkeeper who entered Capitol grounds on the day of the riot, said, Capitol grounds, does that mean inside? Said he was not aware of any plans to storm the Capitol and thought it was a bad idea. Okay, wow, cool. A member of the Oath Keepers who took an AR-15 to a Virginia hotel described entering a room filled with a large stash of weapons. That's a lot of firearms cases, he said when dropping his weapon off. I had not seen that many weapons in one location since I was in the military. They've called it Quick Reaction Force. Rhodes urged Donald Trump to invoke the Insurrection Act. Okay, so Rhodes said he regretted not having brought weapons into... We just read that. I'm trying to figure out if he was talking specifically about the hotel weapons or if he's talking about something else. Okay, so the evidence for bringing weapons into that hotel room is just like one guy said there were a lot of weapons in the hotel room. How much does stuff like that hold up in a court case? I mean, obviously they're going to take it as seriously as they want to, but you know what? John Zimmerman. What is this guy up to? A former member of the Oath Keepers testified last week that Rhodes had told him he had a contact in the Secret Service and he heard Rhodes speaking with someone he believed to be a Secret Service agent a few months before the Capitol riot. Interesting. Some people are saying that Rhodes is a Fed, but like, if he ends up serving more than a year of this 18-year sentence, then he's probably not. That's a bad deal for a Fed. Okay, Terry Cummings. So this is a guy that said he witnessed the guns in the hotel room. Yo, shit, Terry. Oh shit, Terry Cummings, dude. Actual insurrectionist. He's about to put Nancy Pelosi's head through the three-pointer. Half court, Nancy Pelosi's head. Ballin'. Okay, now let's look up Terry Cummings' oath. And we're balling. How do you look up someone who doesn't have like a Wikipedia page? Maybe he has a Twitter? He helped pay for the attorneys. Showed the jury, so Terry showed the jury an assault-style rifle and ammunition he had with them at a hotel, and that there was a stockpile of weapons at the hotel ahead of January 6th. Dude. Hey, I know I'm not the skinniest guy in the world, but good Lord. I mean, what are you doing? And you're supposed to, like, run a militia? What the fuck are you doing? Clearly not a serious person. So they left guns at a hotel room, but they didn't even have the guns there. I guess that's why it's conspiracy. I mean, here's the thing, right? Conspiracy is such a nebulous term, and this is kind of the overarching point. We can go all day talking about, was it justified, was it not? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. What matters is that they will execute their full legal authority to put you in jail for as long as humanly possible if you even smell like you're going to do anything to threaten the system in a real way, whether that's ideologically and obviously if it's, physically. So, damn. Rest in peace, Stuart Rhodes. 18 years, man. 18 years. They're getting a lot of Proud Boys. They're getting, I mean, Ricky Vaughn was the craziest part of this, right? How do you spell him? Okay. New York Post. Alt-right Twitter troll Ricky Vaughn busted for voter disinformation. So for those of you that don't know, Ricky Vaughn is an alias. He was a meme war guy back in 2016, shitposting for Trump. Okay, so here's the line. Said, written on November 1st, 1 week before the presidential election, Mackey, who is Ricky Vaughn, allegedly tweeted an image of a black woman in front of an African Americans for President Hillary sign. Written on the photograph was the message, avoid the line, vote from home. Text Hillary to 59925. Vote for Hillary and be a part of history, the complaint states. More than 4,900 people, encouraged by the misinformation campaign, cast their votes via text. Dude. What? Okay, I knew he did it. I didn't realize. Dude. Almost 5,000 people texted Hillary and thought that they had voted. I'm just hoping, I'm just praying that that a lot of those were like 4chan kids just like doing it for fun. I hope that wasn't actual people who thought that they were voting. Either way, that's not many people, right? That's not many people. But it's way more than there should be. Getting some peanut gallery. Yeah, that's wild. Okay, Mackey's Twitter account under the name Vaughn has attracted more than 58,000 followers by early 2016. Okay, so like a medium-sized account. So that is literally all he did. He put a message out and 5,000 people texted that number. How long is he going to jail for? I forgot. There we go. Tech dirt. Oh, some small text. Just want a number. I do think this was a deliberate attempt to trick people out of voting. And that is suppression. Even if Mackey's army only managed to result in 5,000 futile texts. It's depriving someone of their right, even in a nations of hundreds of millions. Dude, that's not depriving anyone of their right. In any sort of serious country, we would look at that and we'd say, okay, if you think that you can text a vote to a number, you don't get to vote. That seems very reasonable to me. If you're dumb enough to text your vote based on a picture on Twitter, sorry, dude, you don't get to vote. And that's completely reasonable. There is no chance that that person should actually be having their voice heard in a democracy.
What the hell?
There's no shot. But preaching to the choir here, we all know this is just another point to illustrate it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, right? It's gulag mode. It's gulag time. Anyone who's making any sort of difference will just, if they haven't, they will just be thrown in jail. And this happens every time. Every time a government, an institution goes corrupt. This is part of the process. So, no surprise. Big black pill, though. Sounds like the Oath Keepers were not the smartest about things, but they surely don't deserve 18 years. Stuart Rhodes doesn't deserve 18 years in prison. That is a long time. Man, I hope he doesn't have any kids. That'd be such a bummer. Because that's the real sad part about these things, right? It's like whether they're dumb or not, or whether they did something wrong or not, they're trying. I believe that Stuart Rhodes is trying to do the right thing. And, trying to do the right thing does not always work out well. I mean, look at Jesus. I mean, I don't really need to say more. Greatest man that ever lived, God incarnate, did nothing but do the right thing. And what happened? Got crucified. So, if we're on the black pill theme, that's a black pill. No matter how righteous your intentions, no matter if you make a mistake or not, sometimes you get punished. And sometimes, but you know what's cool? You know what's the good part about that, right? And this requires a lot of self-sacrifice and a lot of outside the box thinking that a lot of people aren't capable of, but martyrdom is real. And not that you should go out and aim to become a martyr, because that doesn't help anyone. But people who get this stuff adds up, Ye, Stuart Rhodes, Ricky Vaughn, these things add up in people's psyche, and it takes enough to push people past their comfort to be able to stand up for what they think is right, So I don't want to sacrifice my life, but sometimes someone has to, right? Hey, what up, Janix? Good to see you, man. Thanks for being here. Who crucified him? Pilate. Pontius Pilate. Pontius Pilate. What a bad dude, man. Not a Pontius Pilate fan over here. All right, next story. On to our red pill. Let's go. On to the red pill.
The white man is back, baby! The white man is back!
I hope I don't ruin it with my bad attitude.
Okay. So I haven't watched this. I want to watch this with you guys because I'm pretty sure this is going to be good content. If it's not, hey, I tried. What can you do? All right. I was looking for red pills. I just logged into BitChute, right? And by logged in, I mean visit it because this is the worst site ever created. But you can't look things up on YouTube anymore. So here I am browsing through BitChute and I see the Rubin Report. Here are my reasons for wanting to support Ron DeSantis. Let's let's check this out real quick.
Dave Rubin is with me this morning. All right, Dave, you're a DeSantis guy. What is the number one priority, number one issue that will propel him to the White House? Is it his war on woke? I hope it is.
Well, the war on woke is a big reason, but I can tell you.
These goddamn wokies. I'm tired of these wokies.
Having not only moved myself and my family, but 2 companies from California about a year and a half ago to the free state of Florida, that everything is working here. That's why we've got about 1 million new people, since COVID, 1,200 people a day moving here. Our infrastructure is great. Our streets are safe. We don't have the drugs and homeless. I was in San Francisco yesterday. You know well about that.
Isn't Florida like the place for drugs? I don't know Florida stats, but it's like known for cocaine and illegal immigrants, right?
Everything really is working here. And on the woke front, yes, we are getting this gender craziness and this race craziness out of the schools, out of our institutions. I don't know that there's any governor, maybe in modern history, that has said, these are the 10 things, let's say, that I'm going to do, and gone ahead and done every single one of them. And then, of course, they were been rewarded at the ballot box. Let's remember, the guy in 2018 won the election to a guy who turned out to be a meth addict by 30,000 votes. He won re-election by 1.6 million votes. So the people in Florida and everyone from the rest of the country who are all vacationing here, we just set all sorts of records on that. Everyone recognizes it. And the choice just seems very, very clear to me. This isn't rocket science.
However,
the choice of DeSantis. Okay. So he's just saying Florida's going good. Who was on meth? That sounds crazy.
DeSantis is working on abortion. Is that going to be a major issue in 2024? Because he's signing this 6-week abortion rule. Could that hurt him in the primaries?
Well, I think in the
Wait, 6-week abortion ban? So what happens after the 6 weeks? Do you just get to go back to doing abortions? Why would you? Am I misunderstanding this? Or is it like you can't do an abortion past 6 weeks?
primaries, it probably.
It's like the purge. It's like a 6-week abortion ban. It's like the purge, but for fetuses. You have to abort your baby. One night a year, everyone has to abort their baby. And you get to wear these are like crazy masks with like your mouth stitched up. One day a year, all abortion laws are banned for 6 weeks. It's after 6 weeks. Okay, that makes sense.
Probably helps him because he's taking Florida from 15 weeks, which I personally am comfortable with 15 weeks, but that's just my own.
What the fuck? What's the difference between 15 weeks and 6 weeks or 0 weeks? I don't get the difference. Like, what? It just doesn't even make sense. It doesn't make sense. Like, be all for abortion or be against all abortion. Hey, later, Janix. Yeah, catch the rest of it later. Have a good weekend, man. Okay, so abortion. Answer me this. What is the difference between 6 weeks, 15 weeks, or 0 weeks? Why do people argue over that stuff? That doesn't even make sense. I understand arguing over should abortions be allowed or should they not be allowed. Like that's like at least that makes sense to argue over, right? But like, oh, I think you should be able to kill a baby until 15 weeks. And no, I think you should only be able to kill it before 6 weeks. Like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? That literally doesn't make any sense. Don't kill a baby, or if you want to be a complete degenerate, then kill a baby, you know? So this is what I was talking about last stream too, right? It's like, I'm tired of these lukewarm midwit fucks who keep saying the dumbest shit because they think it's moderating or they think it's placating, and this is exactly what DeSantis stands for. And so, obviously, gay Ruben is gonna support that. It's just ultimate midwit shit.
My own opinion on abortion. He's taking it from 15 to 6. Now, in the primaries, you kind of move right. That's going to help you with the base because obviously the base is large part pro-life. So I think it temporarily helps him in that regard. In a general, it might hurt him. That's realistic, but I've heard him talk about this many times. He has his personal belief on abortion as a Catholic, and he was voted in, and he's doing what he thinks is right. And the voters will have to decide whether that's too far or just enough or not enough. But again, now it's a states' rights issue. So as president, it's not like he'd be laying out a policy that would force every state in the nation to have the 6 weeks that we.
Yo, but he should. Okay, so this is the problem too, right? DeSantis is running on mediocrity. He's running as a Trump light, an alternative to Trump, who is completely safe, completely agreeable, nobody, not stepping on anybody's toes. But that's exactly what we don't want. People love Trump because he's saying we're going to build a wall and make Mexico pay for it. I wish that would have happened. Everyone wishes that would have happened. Nobody wants someone to come in and say, I'm going to change the abortion limit from 15 down to 6 for one state. It's like, dude, no. If you're going to run on it, get in and ban abortion for everyone. Fuck state rights. I think state rights are so stupid. What we need is a government that is moral and willing to do the correct thing, and they just need to be chads about it. They just need to get into the White House, start fucking T-posing on the Jews, and just signing in anti-abortion laws. And I didn't mean Jews there. I meant, I don't know. I meant the international, the globalists. These democratic elites and these European democratic elites.
We have here in Florida, or will have here in Florida.
Is it the same with guns? I'm not exactly sure precisely what DeSantis' position is on guns, but it seems like it's another difficult issue for the Republicans. What say you?
I don't think so, actually. I think most people, post-COVID, post the summer of love and watching so many of our cities burn, I think an awful lot of people have changed their minds on guns. I mean, you just have to look at the numbers of guns that have been sold in America in the last 3 or 4 years. Almost every year it's a record. So I'm not particularly worried that the gun issue is going to be an issue. We have a Second Amendment. The Second Amendment is what protects the First Amendment, and I think most people do see that. But again, I personally wouldn't want federal mandates related to these things. The states can figure out what their little minutia laws are.
Yes, it's a laboratory. The states are a laboratory for our society.
It's a beautiful thing.
Ain't it just? That's why I'm here.
Hey,
Dave Rubin, you're all...
Shut the fuck up.
All right. Thanks very much for joining us, sir, and we hope to see you again real soon. Thank you very much.
Wait, was this literally his take? His take was, oh my God. Oh. I'm about to fucking lose it, man. That was the entire thing? I was hoping for some juicy stuff. That was the stupidest interview I think I've ever watched. So what happened here, right? Fox Business. This guy, Old Man Winter, is basically giving a free time slot for Dave Rubin to come on, talk about his show, promote his show by just being there, and then talk about Ron DeSantis, because the entire controlled op on the right is shilling for DeSantis at this point, right? Their talking points were that Florida's doing good, and also don't worry, because when Ron DeSantis gets in to be president, he's not going to do anything. Did I understand that correctly? Because we have states' rights. So Florida is good, and country will be good. That's so... That's so stupid. That's so stupid. DeSantis is such a fucking nerd, man. And everyone who supports him just doesn't get it. And I don't like any of them. We're going to see that. I mean, we're just starting the presidential campaign cycle, right? So we will be seeing much more of this. And I'm looking forward to it because we get a lot of clips from it. But it's so stupid. Yeah, I like DeSantis. I think he should be the president of our country. Why? Well, Florida's cool. We had a mild abortion term change, and then, also we taught, instead of talking about how white people are the worst, we talk about how black people are the best. And, when he gets in to be president, then, he's going to let everyone decide what they want to do, like it already is. So I don't need to rail on this anymore. That's ridiculous on the face of it. And the fact that you would post this to your own channel is incredible. Yeah, there you go. I need to get out of this funk. We got to go right to the white pill. Man, I'm looking good today, honestly. Ooh, honestly, looking pretty good today, if I do say so myself. All right, guys, we did the coverage on Wednesday about Mr. DeSantis. There's been some more stuff. What I didn't cover on Wednesday was Trump posted this campaign video smashing Ron DeSantis, and it is so good. It is so juicy. We're going to watch it, and we're just going to enjoy the waft of 2016 energy. A little bit of taste of what Trump used to be like. Right? Make this bigger. Pop into browser. All right, guys. Here we go. I've seen it. It's so good.
The Washington established politicians like to talk about how they can be just like Donald Trump. The truth? There's only one Donald Trump. Only one who gave us the largest tax cuts in history, who gave vets the health care they deserve, and stood up to China and protected your job.
Fuck China,
only one
dude.
Who kept us out of endless wars while destroying our terrorist enemies. Only one who fundamentally changed the Supreme Court, was called the most pro-life president in history,
ever,
and relentlessly protected our Second Amendment rights and our borders. Why would we ever settle for Trump imposters?
Make
Let's fucking
America
go.
great again.
when there's only one, starting day one, who can make America great again.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Yes, he did. If it is not obvious that Trump did approve that message and had a big hand, he's the only president who destroyed terrorist enemies. See, this is what DeSantis will never have. And I wish Trump had more of it, right? Because he used to have a lot more of it. But how awesome is this? Basically, just calling him a huge cuck. And the clip at the end is so funny. Him holding up the sign.
Why would we ever settle for Trump imposters?
Make America great again.
When there's only one, starting day one,
He's back.
who can make America great.
He's back,
Again.
baby.
I'm Donald J.
Now, I want to believe. It's all fun and games because the idea of Trump is just so good. The idea is just, I'm just going to play this. Can you loop YouTube videos? I want to play this in the background.
Trump, and I approve this message.
All right. Bingo. This is just going to loop in the background now. Let's go. Oh, okay. Okay. So, that was fun. That brought me a little tear of joy on Wednesday when I saw it after I ended stream. That guy. Dude, it is so hard to move your finger in reverse. I want to get the clip. There we go. Got it. Yeah. Anyways, I just wanted to share that little nugget with you guys. If he can clear out his campaign, if he can embrace his inner dragon, bust into the White House and start rewriting the Constitution, then I'm here for it. Unfortunately, we haven't seen that in his speeches yet. We have not seen it in the speeches. We certainly didn't see it in the last 2 years, 3 years of his term. Everyone was hoping for punish Trump. It never quite came. But based on how they're attacking him and based on what we know and have heard from Trump in the past, he's still him. And so just gotta hope. Just gotta hope that DeSantis running against him is enough to bring the dragon back out, right? Because Trump obviously thrives on competition. He thrives on his ego. So this is also what I wanted to get into, right? Is the concept of loyalty and how that pertains to the political landscape and how everyday people can use loyalty as a barometer to figure out who and what is worth investing in, right? And Trump DeSantis is a great example. Trump did make Ron DeSantis' political career. He wouldn't have gotten office without him. And what happens? A few years later, completely backstabs him, sells out to the establishment, runs against Trump, literally as just a roadblock for him. Some real rat shit. What needs to happen is, and I think what people are feeling implicitly is they feel the betrayal there. They feel that he is a weaker version of Trump that is just there to throw up smoke. and this happens all over the place, right? I'm sure this has happened in your life too. Sometimes people are there just to detract from you. Sometimes the only thing that people bring into your life is distraction. And it sucks because identifying those people is difficult, and you feel like a sociopath when you have to cut those people out before they become a problem. And this is what good leaders do, is they cut those people out early. You need loyalty, particularly when it comes to something like trying to change the greatest power in America into something that isn't fake and gay. There's going to be a lot of people that want to stop that, a lot of money that wants to stop that. And so you need to be a very good judge of character. You need to know who's riding with you and who is not. This brings me back to Tucker, particularly because I think Tucker's a really good example. He says some of the right things. He is on the right when when it's convenient. But the way that you can test someone's true loyalty is when something pops up, and it always does, that is inconvenient, that is out of the blue. 100 times out of 100, a disloyal person will throw you under the bus. Every single time. And a loyal person, well, I mean, honestly, they'll throw you under the bus like 50% of the time. But because it's hard, right? And people are selfish. But you need that 50% shot at someone riding with you. 50 is better than 100. And I mean, if you're really lucky, you can find someone that's like ride or die, right? But this is just kind of becoming more and more apparent as the stakes get higher, and as people start going to jail, as the cracks start to show. You need to take a deep look and figure out like who's a real one, who's with me. And you don't necessarily need to cut other people out, but you need to be aware of what you're working with, right? I'm not advocating that people take stock of all their relationships and stop talking to people, right? But you just need to know where people belong in your life. And that's just part of growing up. That's part of realizing how the world works and not looking at it with rose-colored glasses. It's really difficult for me. And so seeing some of these things happen, seeing patterns arise, it's just more and more clear that you got to pick your team. You got to pick who you hang out with, who you ride with very carefully. That's it. That's the white pill. The good news is there, and the real white pill, besides Trump being based in this ad, is those people are out there, man. They're definitely out there. And when you find them, hold on to them. Treat them right, Be a ride or die for them. It doesn't go one way. It goes two ways. So that's it, guys. That's it. I only talked about the tiny hats once in this stream. That's pretty good. I'm going to try and do it less, or maybe like get a sound clip or something. Just because I just want to make it hard for them to ban me. I know they're going to, but
You can't keep getting away with it!
that's the show. That's the Friday show. I'm trying to think. We got good content, but I also want to do some more casual stuff, like maybe watching longer form things or watching other people's content and just talking about it. I'm glad I got the chat fixed. Chat's looking good. I need to fix the bottom a little bit, but stream's looking good. Everything's good, man. Chin up. Have a good weekend. Say hi to your mom for me, dude. Say hi to your mom for me. Later. Monday.
See you Monday.
Oh, yeah. Wait, should I check? Let me check super chats in case any came through. I don't think any did. Because I'm pretty sure it's just T and Steph and Janix at one point. So, actually, I'm not gonna check super chats. I will. I'll do it. I'll just sit here and check super chat. It's really not a big deal. I don't know. I'm talking about it so much. Nope. Nothing here. All good. All right, guys. I'll see you Monday, same time, same place. That would be 5 p.m. PST, 8 p.m. EST. There's the socials. Follow it. Telegram's going to be the main one. Trying to get more viewers on Rumble, too, so head on over to Rumble. Subscribe at Slum. Let me know if that link works, too. Hope it does. Hope it does. Hope it does. Hope it does. Change that back. All right. Later, guys. Have a good weekend.
Remember, all I'm offering is the truth. Nothing. Follow me.